Hey there, Poke friends. Welcome to Let's Play Games West Virginia. LPGWV is a group of West Virginia-based streamers that have something gaming-related going on every night of the week. As you know, Mondays is Poke Monday. I'm Kevin, this is Heather, and this is Tiny Frank. So, once again, we ended up with a Lucky Friend effect, feature, event.
No, I don't think it's an event.
Happening.
I think it's a...
Status.
Status. Lucky friend status.
So you can be lucky friends with someone by being judicious with your gift giving and making sure that you're doing that every single day and doing other friend-related activities. Lucky Friends guarantees you a lucky Pokemon trade on your next trade, which means that you can pick something that would be meta-relevant for battles or that you just might like to have a fun yellow banner behind.
Mm-hmm. So what was our second one? We've done two now.
Yeah, we did two. We did
Lugia
and Ho-Oh.
And Ho-Oh. Yep, so that was my, I believe, third Lucky Friends. I just did one this past Saturday. And I also did one earlier this week that was for a Rayquaza, for a Rayquaza trade. So I now have Lugia, Ho-Oh, Rayquaza, and a Meltan. I thought the Meltan might be helpful for the future. I have a ton of Meltan candies, so I can definitely power up a Meltan if I want to. And it turned out to be about 93-91% IV, so I think that will be super helpful.
So if folks don't have a lucky Pokemon yet, what's the benefit of that?
The benefit of that is that it is much cheaper on the Stardust to power up that Pokemon. So if you want something to be maxed out on its CP range, it would behoove you then to use your Stardust and your candies for that Pokemon to power it up. Now, granted, it is not required to power up a Pokemon to be effective. There's a certain level of Pokemon at which powering it up beyond that is no longer helpful. But for things like PvP and gym possession and gym usage, it may be helpful in defending. So I do like to power up some of them if it's important to me, like an important Pokemon. Otherwise, I just kind of leave it where it is. But having the legendaries be lucky does give you better odds for that as being effective for raids and gym possession. Well, not gym possession. You can't put legendaries in gyms, but definitely helpful for taking down gyms.
So last summer, lucky Pokemon were released, and one of the ways that you could kind of increase your odds if you didn't already have 10 was to trade old Pokemon and do that. So we were actually in Scotland for our first lucky trade. I think it was a Diglett and something else.
I'm not sure.
But we just happened to be trading Pokemon and they ended up lucky. So it's nice that you can kind of, I don't want to say game that system a little bit, but tailor it a bit more. So
and guarantee a lucky trade.
Yeah, and guarantee it. So like as I was hunting for 100% IV Pidgeys, which I still don't have even a single one or a shiny, I did end up, however, with 6 lucky Pidgeys. So that does give you increased IVs, and if it's cheaper to power them up. But most of my luckies are now Pidgeys, so it's nice to be able to have something that's actually useful and to be able to choose that.
Yeah, yeah. I have several unuseful lucky Pokemon because I was trading Pidgeys to you. So now I have random things. I actually think my first lucky Pokemon was a Linoone, which again, totally irrelevant really for meta things unless it's PvP, and even then, maybe not so much. So most of my lucky Pokemon are terribly unhelpful, quite frankly.
So with just the general kind of egg business as well as last week's egg extravaganza, I think I have hatched like 70 eggs in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is a pile of them. So
also, this is not on our formal list of things to talk about this evening, but we are seeing that there are new Pokemon in eggs. That was announced. So in your eggs, there are going to be different Pokemon hatching. So it is in the announcement. There's more stuff on the Pokemon Go hub, but they did post it. Where was that? Is it not in the news? I believe it's the Shiny Meltan. Maybe not.
The place I saw it was on one of Trainer Tips Nick's video, and he was talking about the new locations.
Here it is. It's under the Research Breakthrough and Egg Changes announcement tab. So with the 2-kilometer eggs, you're basically going to see a couple starter Pokemon plus Bonsly, and it says many more. But you're going to have Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, those Gen 4 starters. In 5K eggs, you're going to see things like Gen 1 Cubone, Gen 4 Combee, Buizel, Glameow, other Gen 4 evolutions that are common but not, well, they're uncommon but not super prevalent, if that makes sense. And then out of 10K eggs, you'll find things like Mawile, Absol, Shinx, Cranidos, which is a good one for many, if you don't have that Rampardos yet. Shieldon, which will be also helpful for your evolutions. Riolu, in case you all have still not hatched Riolu, and many others. So that will be helpful in the coming days as you all start to get through all of your eggs from the Extravaganza event. I hope you're through them.
So I found that really since the 7K egg event in September, I hatch a lot, I acquire fewer 2, 5, and 10K eggs. That most of my eggs come from friend gift giving, and so I suspect that I'm not alone in that trend, and that's probably why Niantic is trying to shake up a little bit and get that to change. They seem to have been pretty egg focused the last 6 months, and I think that they're probably just trying to broaden that.
Well, I think they're trying to expand a lot of the ways in which people get Pokemon. For a while there, the Pokemon in 2, 5, and 10K eggs were quite stale, right?
Yeah.
It was not uncommon for me to hatch out of 10K eggs. Pretty frequently, 7 out of 10 would be a Trapinch. So for a while, I didn't really care to get those eggs, and I would just use the 7K eggs to try and hatch shiny babies. So given that, I think they're starting to recognize that those egg tendencies are old by now and that people are tired of what they're hatching. So I think this is a good move on their part because, right, it's a lot of revenue for them to have incubators as common stock items in the shop. So if you are done hatching all of the babies from the Extravaganza event and you're tired of the eggs the babies in 7K eggs, then you probably are ready for a change of pace. So the 2, 5, and 10K eggs will be a nice change to that, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine that the incubators are probably their single winningest item in the store.
I don't know. I think probably...
I think that it motivates them. So whether you're buying boxes or you're just buying them straight, I would imagine that most of the money comes from those spots.
What do you mean, those spots?
Like, people are purchasing things mostly to get incubators.
I don't know. I think some people who are very... who raid infrequently are buying raid passes. If they're not buying boxes, then they're buying raid pass after raid pass, which does add up if you're buying them individually. Or some people, if they are doing that, they're also buying individual eggs, lucky eggs, or they're buying 3 of them at a time, which starts to add up in the star pieces additionally. So I think that it depends. Really, for Niantic, the best thing for them, capital market gains wise, is that players don't buy the boxes because those are your best use of coins and the best bang for your buck. So if a player then says, oh, well, shoot, I don't have enough raid passes, let me go buy raid passes. Oh, wait, I need lucky eggs, let me go buy lucky eggs. Oh, wait, now I don't have a star piece. Now I need to finally buy this box, but I've already bought these other things. That's more money for Niantic. So buying the boxes is not really in their best interest. No, it is a good deal. That's why people buy the boxes. I'm a penchant to buy those boxes quite frequently because I go through incubators quite quickly, and I do use raid passes quite often.
I would like the ability to, maybe for Ultra Friends or something, Best Friends, to be able to trade or give items. Because like I'm still dropping about 200 Pokeballs a week that I can't use. And I've got piles of premium raid passes that I would happily share with other players.
Yeah, I think so. I would definitely share raid passes with people for sure. I've got a stock right now that...
Even just the ability, if there was a friend nearby, to just like, even if you couldn't give them, say, 10 raid passes, if they were there and you could just spend one of yours to pull them in.
That would be neat. But I don't think that's in their best interest to do so. Like, why would they?
Well, I mean, it's not in their direct best interest, but it's in their direct best interest to keep players happy and players engaged. So even if it might look like on the short end they're making less money, if they're keeping players engaged and there are other like kind of, you know, high production players, like the people who are purchasing boxes every week to make sure they have enough incubators, it's probably not the majority of players. So if that keeps me as a player who does spend money on the game more happy and engaged, that's in Niantic's interest.
Sure.
So yeah, if I would have, like, because we've seen more than a few times some other players like, wait, don't go in yet. I need to buy a raid pass. Like, well, if I could just, you know, pull that person in,
tap and give them one.
Because I've paid for that raid pass. Someone has paid for it. It does, like, if it's a premium raid pass, it doesn't really matter who that is.
And the functionality is already there, right? So we have the functionality with the X-raid passes to invite somebody else.
Sure.
You know, like it's already built into the system. And it would be nice if you could just tap on it and say, send to so-and-so. And then either they could join you for a raid, in which you would then use 2 of your own, or you could gift it to somebody already, you know, getting ready for this particular raid you're at.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that would be kind of neat, I think. That would be a nice functionality, and give them something else to add to the list of new inventions that they're doing, right? Because they've done now a renovation of the gym system, right? That's long gone. We've had an overhaul of the raid battles and the raid bosses. We've had overhauls of the excuse me, the addition of friendship. We've had overhauls of the mechanics of battling with one another. So this would be a nice overhaul, I think, for keeping players interested and helping out those in your community who maybe can't spend the money on it but still want to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it, Niantic. Allow us to invite friends with regular premium raid passes. And, you know, put a limit on that. Maybe make sure that they're, you know, best friends or something.
Or even just Ultra Friends.
I paid for them. Let me choose who uses them.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we ever get invited to Go Fest, we can tell somebody there. But that currently doesn't feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think... It seems like the masses of the interwebs on both Reddit and Twitter and Instagram and otherwise are all pretty unhappy about the way this Chicago Go Fest has unfolded, right? So we talked about last week how to get into the lottery, but now we're on like wave 18 or 19 of passes, or the opportunity for passes to be bought up now, and they're still having trouble sending them out, but we've not seen anybody in our neighborhood, well, in our Morgantown city, in our vicinity, even talk about having tickets.
So to explain waves, so it's been a really opaque process. So last Tuesday opened the window for tossing your name into the lottery. And in an entirely opaque process, there have been waves of selection. So if you were selected in one of the waves, you had 48 hours to purchase tickets, anywhere from 1 to 4. And if you didn't do that in 48 hours, those tickets, those max 4 tickets that you were kind of holding, got put back into the system, and a new wave of selections would be made. I haven't, you said 18 or 19, I haven't seen the update. So the last thing I had seen was on Friday or Saturday when there had been 13 waves.
As of like 3 p.m. today, there were 18 waves of emails and batches sent out to people so that they could buy tickets, up to 4 tickets.
So that tells me a few things. One, it tells me that I think a lot of people aren't purchasing those tickets because there's repeated waves. So my assumption when they announced this was, oh man, there's going to be 5 to 10 of these things and they're all going to be gone. Because why would you toss your name into the lottery if you weren't going to buy tickets? So now we're at wave 19 and it's not clear how long that's going to go. But the thing is, Niantic hasn't really been upfront about that, and people have been, I don't know if they've been doing an APK teardown, or I don't actually know how they're acquiring this information. Do you?
I'm sorry, what?
How they're acquiring the wave information?
You mean like on Reddit and whatnot?
Yeah.
Just self-reporting.
Okay. So I did see a poll, and at the time I looked at the poll, which was a couple of days ago, there were about 1,000 responses, and it was the vast majority, like over 90%, I think, said that they hadn't received any invites. And the other was like no invites. Yes, I got it and I bought 1. Yes, I got it and I bought 2, 3, 4. And so that was the general idea. But out of the 1,000 people, it was a pretty small number who had actually received any. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, that's there's probably some selection bias going on because it's people who are on the Silph Road subreddit. But I would think that like the Venn diagram of very serious players and people who are on the Silph Road subreddit probably overlap significantly, but there still is probably a bias there.
Sure. And that's not to even include those, I got a shiny Phoebus via trade.
Woo.
So that's the numbers of tickets that are being reported are not even to include those basically sponsored YouTube players. So
there were like media invite tickets. So if you were like fancy enough or have a large enough fan base on YouTube, then you kind of were given this VIP sort of ticket that you didn't really have to enter for.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, it makes sense on both ends. It just would have been nice to have them over here.
Yeah. So that's not even counting the numbers of people who already have tickets. That's just self-reporting there. And it seems to be that people are either entering and just not buying and not seeing their email, or are, I guess, just entering the lottery just because, which doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I don't know that I would enter the lottery without actually wanting to purchase the passes.
Or intending to purchase the passes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We were talking about this earlier, and I thought, well, if they're having this problem with, I don't want to call them false entries, but like, under-committed entries to the lottery, then maybe they could do something to influence that. And maybe that's even like a $5 or $10 lottery entry fee, where you would, basically pay to enter that lottery. So there's this minimum barrier to entry. Because right now there's nothing to stop anyone, even if they have zero intention of going, from tossing their name into the lottery because, people like stuff. So if there was even the smallest thing that made that a little bit more difficult, maybe that would cut down on these kind of false positives.
This tiny dog does not want to be on a lap anymore.
He's like making circles.
Tiny dog problems, our very own Pokemon.
So yeah, I don't know if there's maybe some additional entry. So I've been checking the events tab probably twice a day because there were some reports that the emails weren't getting sent out in a timely manner, and you do only have 48 hours to do that. So you would definitely
from when the email is sent, not when you receive it. So
right. So you want to check at least once a day.
It's definitely troublesome. Because some people were reporting that they either weren't getting the emails or they were checking their app, and in the app it said that they had been selected for opportunity to buy tickets, but they didn't get an email, or they got an email and their app didn't reflect it. So Pokemon Go / Niantic did tweet a very ambivalent, sort of unclear kind of tweet just to say, hey, people on Twitter, we are still sending out waves of tickets, ... Like, that was basically all of the tweet. And
you mean a new feature was released that's super buggy? Shocker.
Right? I know, right? Let me pull up the tweet because I think it's pretty on point and on brand with Pokemon Go thus far. It's one of their top tweets. Hold on. As of recent. Go, go, go! It says, as of today, 3 hours ago, as we notify Pokemon Go Fest Chicago ticket drawing winners over the next few days, remember to check the in-app events page and your email inbox to see if you've been selected. You have 48 hours after you've been selected to purchase your tickets. Which means to me, or, which says to me then, that people are not either checking their email or they're just not bothering to buy those tickets. And Pokemon Go / Niantic recognizes that. So I'm hoping that that means then that we will get selected in a wave of tickets, because that would be amazeballs. But so far we've been pretty unlucky.
Thus far, but have they announced when this ends, the waves?
It ends when the tickets are sold out. So it could go on
indefinitely.
Yeah. And I did see somebody...
Do we know how many tickets there are total?
No, they haven't posted. But I did see somebody on Reddit ask the question of, well, what happens if I purchase tickets and then can't go? Or, what if I get selected to purchase tickets and I only select 3 for my friends and I don't buy one for myself? Should I go ahead and buy one for myself and just not go? And most of the community that I saw comment said, no, don't buy a ticket for yourself if you're not planning on going, because that then takes away a ticket from somebody else who actually wants to go. And I agree with that a whole lot. So I think if you're going to want to go, then find a way to do that. But if you have gotten the opportunity to buy GoFest tickets and you're not going to buy one for yourself, or you're thinking you should buy one anyway, don't do it, because other people really want to go and have not yet gotten selected in the first 18 or 19 waves.
So it is possible to get selected for tickets, buy one for others, and not buy one for yourself?
That seems to be the case. Now, again, I haven't gotten into that functionality, so I don't quite know what it looks like.
Yeah, that's just surprising to me.
Yeah.
I was doing some evolutions, and I was tossing some Pokemon in the wood chipper there.
Welcome, Edna. Welcome to the stream.
So, yeah, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, so you are scrolling through all of, it looks like, oh, no, just all your Pokemon, not even the legendaries.
Yeah, I was doing a mass wood chippering.
A mass transfer.
So I have, 118 selected right there? So
kind of looks like.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of clean house a little bit and go through my storage. I wasn't running out per se. I am only about 50% of my max Pokemon storage. But I realized I was holding on to things that didn't have any sort of battle utility, that didn't really have, I hesitate to say emotional value, but sentimental,
really?
Memorial value, things that I picked up in Scotland or that got traded to me that, that are super old. That I was holding on to a lot of, I wanted to keep those things, but I was holding on to a lot of stuff. I had every Soul Rock I caught from that event. So, I just wanted to kind of clean house. And so...
Was this after we watched that video from Zoe Two Dots?
It was, yeah. So we're basically... I'm Marie Kondoing my Pokemon here. And if the Pokemon doesn't bring me sweet, glorious victory or joy, it's out.
That's a weird way to phrase that, Kevin.
Well, because it's like a battle thing.
What?
You battle Pokemon. They fight.
Yeah, so... Okay, alright. I mean, I get it. It's just weird. That's all.
Yep, so cleaning house, getting rid of some Pokemon. There's still stuff that I think it's useful to have multiples of. So obviously I kept all of those Groudons.
Groupons.
Yes, all of the Groupons for mostly those X-raids I end up in. But
Groudon. Yeah. I tend to find myself on the max end of the storage.
No, I'm just laughing at Barack Snowbama that I forgot that I had done that.
Yeah.
That's all.
I tend to keep and hoard a lot of Pokemon, including Pikachus.
148.
Pikachus of all different shape and form, because I have a lot of sentimental value. And some of them are old, and some of them I just don't want to get rid of, and some of them I'm hoping I will trade, and then I don't do trades very often. So honestly, I have too many Pokemon.
Just as a quick aside, earlier we were talking about lucky Pokemon. As you can see, the Pidgey Patrol in all of its glory.
It's ridiculous.
6 lucky Pidgeys. They're all of an IV above 80. But obviously.
But you stopped that, right?
I mostly stopped the collecting, but I'm still kind of looking out on the outlook for a shiny and maybe 100% IV one.
Oh, okay.
So I toned it down significantly.
So I don't have to hoard tons of Pidgeys to trade you?
No, you don't have to.
Excellent.
But I've toned it down significantly. But the Pidgey Patrol is still there.
It's not dead.
If you found us on Instagram or Twitter today, you may have come by hashtag Pidgey Patrol. So that's
You're probably the only one hashtagging that, so.
That's probably true.
At LPG Kevin. Go find hashtag Pidgey Patrol. You'll see him, and literally only him.
So the unspoken hero of this stream is Adventure Sync. That has hatched many, many, many eggs throughout the events.
I mean, our stream today has been over 9,000 eggs.
Well, I mean, we're on the tail end of the egg extravaganza from last week, plus just the regular. On a regular non-extravaganza week, I'm hatching 19 eggs. And during the extravaganza, it was almost 30. So
I would say I hatched probably that each day of the event. 19 eggs.
That's crazy.
Or more. Well, because the 2K eggs, if you put them in super incubators, were 0.7 of a kilometer. If you put them in a regular incubator, it was 1 kilometer. So I was hatching a ton of eggs every single day. With that, I did happen upon a Riolu. 1 single Riolu, and I did happen upon a couple of the more uncommon babies, but mostly just a standard array. I ended up transferring a good chunk of the Pokemon I hatched because it just wasn't realistic for me to keep them all.
I transfer most of the Pokemon that I hatch. There's a couple that I'm looking for candies for, so I'm excited to get those ones, but I'm not even really checking IVs on those guys. They're pretty much headed straight to the wood chipper. I
did hatch a Shieldon during the event, so that was super exciting because I got enough candy. I have now 41 candies after I have already evolved my first Shieldon. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm almost to my second evolution.
I don't even have one evolved Shieldon yet.
Yeah, use pin-ups on everything, rare candies, which I know you've got a bucket of.
What's the dude called?
Shieldon. So you currently have...
No, I have 6 candies.
You have 6 candies? That's it? So you have just the one?
Yeah.
The one that you've caught?
Yeah. I've been walking this Skorupi for a while.
Yeah.
How many candies does it take to evolve that guy?
50.
I'm at 42.
Ah.
Ooh, I have enough rare candies for that.
That's true. You could do that.
I could, in fact, do that.
So speaking of things that you could or should evolve, you could also evolve a Meltan right now because the Meltan boxes are currently on the discounted going rate of 3 days a week. So get your Meltan and apparently your new Skorupis, which sounds like words are hard. Money from Zelda, The Legend of Zelda. Yay, you've got a Scorpion. Woo!
If the colors are screwy, I have a blue light filter on.
So it looks super magenta.
That looks super awesome. You know those
upside down scorpions?
It looks like a GorillaPod camera tripod with those arms.
Yeah, it does. GorillaPod meets Scorpion. Scorpion Pod.
Well,
that's creepy. I'm never going to say that again. That's a nightmare.
Let's make this Sheldon my buddy.
It does sound like a Pokemon STD, Jason. You're right.
Which one does?
Skorupi. Drapion. It's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got your evolved guy. Are you going to keep it as your buddy?
No, I'm gonna flip him out.
To what?
Probably that Shieldon.
Do you have, I keep thinking a Mastodon, and that's not it. Do you have what is its name? Cranidos. Do you have a Cranidos yet?
Nope.
No?
I might have one, but I don't think I have it. It's evolved form.
That's the one that's got like the bald Easter egg head.
Yeah.
Nope, you don't. It would come up as Cranidos.
I thought I had one. What's his evolved form called?
Rampardos. Rampardos.
I thought that I had one. I hope I didn't toss in the wood chipper. That would be a bummer.
Check your Pokedex. It'll be there. Or do you want to check the Pokedex? Because that's creepy. 4? Yes, Gen 4. So while Kevin checks his Pokedex, open your Meltan box. There's shiny Meltans out right now. All the way until May 5th. So you still have time to get another Meltan box if you need the candy. This has been your friendly advertisement.
I've only seen him as a shadow, and I've only seen one.
Oh.
So yeah.
You do not have a Cranidos.
I do not have one.
Yeah, I used a ton of rare candy to get the Rampardos, and have since seen 2 or 3 Cranidos.
Sorry, the stream. I totally decided to ignore you and play Pokemon Go for a split second.
It's true. He definitely did. I was trying to hold us together, but it's fine.
Thanks for holding the fort. Yeah, so apparently I don't have a Cranidos. I think maybe I was just remembering how excited you were to get one, and that just kind of like rubbed off.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was super excited to get one the first time, and like I said, I used a rare candy on it. So I knew that I probably wouldn't see many of them. Both Shieldon and Cranidos are pretty rare. There are reports on Discord of them, but I've only gone to fetch them a handful of times, so not too many.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. So then, I guess in the back of my mind, I thought I had one, but it appears not to be the case.
Oh no! So what else is going on this week, Kevin?
Well, you posted a photo for the Snapshot Challenge.
I did. So I posted one for the Buddy Challenge that has already ended, but there are 3 different waves of that Buddy Challenge, right?
Right. So if just to catch you up if you missed it, so the Pokemon Snapshot Challenge, if you use the AR mode to take a photo, the first one was your buddy photo, and you could switch that out. So if you didn't, I'm not really even sure how they controlled for that, but either way.
They did.
So you could switch that out to whatever you want and stage a photograph. So if you were using an iPhone, you're pretty restricted because that Pokemon just gets like stuck right in the center of the screen.
Right in front of your face.
If you're using an Android phone that can handle Google AR, the AR Core Plus, then you can use AR Plus, and then you can do some cool things. So that will put the Pokemon in your environment in an artificial reality sort of way and leave it there. So you can move around and you can get different angles, and you can sort of do different things for that. So which one did you decide to do for your buddy photo?
I ended up doing the shiny Machamp that I got after the fighting event. So I found that just one day on my way to teach class, and I was super excited about it, so I evolved it to its final green Ninja Turtle like we talked about on the stream before. And then I went to the gym and took a photo while lifting weights with my Machamp.
I think I actually have a copy of that if you would want to
It's on the LPGWV Kevin Instagram page.
So here is Heather and Machamp at Viking Performance Training in Morgantown, lifting strongman implements. So that's her shiny Machoke. Sorry. So,
nope, Machamp.
Really?
Yep. Machop, Machoke, Machamp.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're lifting weights, and the caption, which, you know, I wanted to be clever about because Niantic will pick a winner who will get a ticket to GoFest, right? Or a GoFest of your choice. I then chose to give it a catchy tagline that says, "Gotta press them all." And then with the little music notes, I said, "We are my champions." And that's all, folks.
So reward our cleverness, Niantic.
And our punniness. We like to pun.
So I helped with that photo a little bit, and I think it turned out pretty well. So it's fun to.
It sure did.
It's a fun event to participate in. So we've got a couple other snapshot challenge things coming up, right?
Yep. So we have this. The one that just started is the Habitat Challenge. So that is available until May 8th. You can post up to 3 photos on either Instagram or Twitter and hashtag, I think it's Go Challenge or Go Snapshot Pokemon Challenge or something. Go find the actual hashtags. And you can post up to 3 with a Pokemon in its natural habitat. So that would be if it's a water type Pokemon, you might want to take it down by a body of water or in the bathtub or somewhere else. Do what you got to do. Get creative, right? So then after the Habitat Challenge ends on the 8th, from May 13th to the 22nd, you can get creative with your post. So there's no restriction then on what that is. You just, as much as your imagination can handle, and that you can logistically make happen without editing your photos. So
for the Buddy Challenge, you had to use 2 hashtags.
Yeah.
Go Snapshot and hashtag Buddy
Challenge.
For the Habitat, you have to use 2 hashtags, hashtag Go Snapshot and hashtag Habitat Challenge. For the third one, which is the Creative Challenge, you use Go Snapshot and hashtag Go Create Challenge. Not creative, but create. So Go Create Challenge. So
but you're going to want to get creative.
Those are those actual hashtags for your use.
Mm-hmm. And I actually tagged the Pokemon Go app in my post so they would see it. I'm not sure if that's actually helpful or not, but...
Next time we should @mention the marketing directors.
Yeah, right? @mention literally every executive director there. Because I really want to go to GoFest, if you can't tell by now. What else is going on? Giratina left raids today. So if you did not get out and get your own creepy pool bug noodle guy.
Or pug boodle guy.
Pug boodle. Boodle pug, whatever. This is getting weird. If you didn't get your pool noodle bug guy, find somebody to trade with.
So Giratina first entered the level 5 gyms back in October for the Halloween event.
Halloween!
In which we had the altered form. So for me.
For me with an E.
Form. It's like form, but with its pinky raised.
Pinky.
A little fancier.
Right,
so recently we had the origin form, and that was over the past week. So that was cool to be able to get those out. If you already have the one from Halloween, that won't be a new dex entry, but it will be a new little spot in
little spot.
The extra forms.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Formies with an E and a pinky.
So yeah, how many of those did you end up with? I think I ended up with 4 of the...
I have a lot.
4 of the origin forms and 2 of the older altered forms.
Is that legit numbers, or are you just ballparking?
No, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Because it was 6 total. So we did 5. I only missed 1. We did 5 origin form raids, and I caught 4 of them.
Yeah. So for Giratina, I have 6 of the spaghetti pool noodles. That would be the origin form. I have 6 of those. And I have 7 of the altered form.
Wow.
So I have plenty of them. They're not currently particularly useful unless I run out of my over 9,000 dragon type. In which case those are helpful, but they're also not very effective most of the time, so I don't really use them. So if you want to trade for IV rerolls or whatever, hit me up. I'm kidding, but seriously, because I don't know what to do with my legendary Pokemon, and I feel bad transferring them, but now it's getting excessive, so...
Yeah, I called some of them, but I have a hard time getting rid of the legendaries, whether it's birds or dogs. Nobody needs 9 Suicunes, but I definitely have 9.
Yeah,
So
it's. I'm not sure what to do there. I would love to trade Peeps for, the Ivy reroll, or just to get a lucky guy and maybe I can power it up to its effective levels. I don't know. Either way, yeah, not useful.
But yeah, definitely curating the Pokemon bag is something that is worthwhile to do. So I was able to get that down. I had 1,200 of 1,500, and I now have 792.
Oh my god, Kevin, that's so low!
792. I realize it's a lot.
No, it's not.
It's not a lot if you're a Pokemon hoarder.
I have currently 1819 out of 2,000.
Wow.
And that's pretty low for me. I usually stick to about 1,960. So I have gone through because I want to make some space for Carnivine while I'm traveling this week.
Woo. Hopefully you'll bring one back for me.
Woo woo.
So now that Giratina is gone, who's hanging out in level 5 raids?
Well, funny you should mention it, Kevin. Because of the Earth Day challenge, in which we have seen over 1,400 people participate, we have unlocked Groudon, Groupon in raids until May 2nd. So we are now reaping some of the benefits of those Earth Day rewards. So if you did not get a chance the first time around or the second time around for Groudon, you can now get your very own Groudon in raids. Now, again, that's only until the 2nd, which I believe is like Thursday. So you don't have much time, but maybe call in sick or go on your lunch hour break. I'm not telling you to skip work. But do what you got to do to get your Groudon. So there's also with that a shiny Diglett that's available. It's super cute. I haven't seen it, but I saw it on the internets because I like the internets. And it has a blue nose. So if you want a shiny Diglett, that is available now. And you can tell because Digletts are everywhere. And Sandshrews and Nummels and Geodudes, maybe? Anyway, all of your ground-type Pokemon, which is not Geodude now that I'm thinking about it, all of your ground-type Pokemon, Cubone are available in super mass large numbers. So, get your shiny Diglett, get all your ground-type. There's also 2 times Catch Stardust and 2 times the Catch Candy. All of this you can find on Twitter, on the Pokemon Go app Twitter page. They just posted today some of the rewards that have been unlocked thus far. So, Groudon, 2 times Catch Candy, 2 times Catch Stardust, shiny Diglett, and Groudon. So, get your stuff.
Jason had a really good idea, which is if you toss a legendary Pokemon in the wood chipper, you should get rare candy back.
Whoa.
That's a really good idea.
That's a cool idea.
That might actually feel like a fair trade.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Whoa, that would be a crazy event where if every Pokemon you traded back yielded rare candy. Like, it could be one of those weird, one of those 3-hour events.
That's totally, I can't even get my head around that. That's totally insane.
But it could be one of those really short events, like one of those 1 hour or 3-hour events.
Oh, I'm sure people would complain about it, though.
Yeah, but people are going to complain anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I would totally save up. I would buy extra bag space to save up and throw Pokemon back.
Would you, name them all, transfer, and then just, mass select all of the transfer guys?
That's a brilliant idea. I wasn't thinking of that, but yeah.
I did that for, what was that event? Was it Valentine's Day? It was one of the one of the events around Valentine's Day that we had double the transfer candy, and it was particularly relevant because Meltan had come out recently. So I was mass transferring all of my stuff. I had renamed stuff, and then I just searched it and transferred.
To pop back into the video real quick, here a penguin is trying to attack an evil nether dragon for no good reason.
Yes.
So I was on my
JV. I know what it is.
JV team.
It looks like the flying dude from the Avengers. The flying guy that the Ant-Man punches in the face. Not to spoil anything for Endgame. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The big caterpillar that the Ant-Man punches in the face.
But that might be.
It's not a spoiler. It's not. It's not. I promise you. You have to have a lot of context for that to be spoilery. So, anyway, it looks like one of those guys.
I can see that.
Yeah. So you used your, like, ultra junior varsity team.
Yeah, it was like third string Pokemon at that point. So.
Yeah. So you were just working with the recommended then?
Yes.
Like the whole time you didn't have your own party?
No, because I'm lazy, and so I definitely didn't have a party pre-made. So as you can see, Giratina is pretty close to the throwing plane, so that great circle is ginormous.
Similar to Groudon.
Yeah, and the excellent circle is not quite as large as like my thinking it would be. I kept hitting still great when I thought it was going to be about that size, but it's still larger than normal.
Is your app glitching? Are you catching that?
So as you can see, I've got a spinny Pokeball happening here.
You have the ball.
So I've been having a cell phone service issue the last few weeks, in which
this was that one.
I just lose all mobile connectivity. So not even, and for a while I even dropped to like 1x during one of these raids, but it let me back into the catch screen. So I think that's a problem on my service provider's end, but it is super frustrating for Pokemon things because it leads with these spinny ball hangups.
While Giratina appears.
But at least it let me back into the catch sequence. So I thought I was going to lose it.
That has happened to me probably 3 or 4 times in my history of playing. Most of the time.
It's happened to me 3 times this week. So
most of the time it'll let me back in.
Oh, I meant the connectivity thing, not the catch screen thing.
Yeah, I mean the catch screen thing. Although it is a bummer when you use a raid pass and then it's like, nope, sorry, Pokemon cannot be found. And you're like, Wah!
That is a bummer.
You call like a bird. It happens.
It definitely, I think, would have the potential to disbalance the game, Jason, your rare candy idea. So I think it would really need to be narrow, like a 1 hour or 3 hour event. Like it couldn't be a week-long event.
Yeah.
You'd be walking around with like 1,000 rare candies.
That's true.
So I leveled up. I had a friend level increase, which gave me 100,000 XP. Woo! Which meant that this weekend I finally hit level 37. So I am officially halfway through this game.
You're halfway through.
So
welcome to the long grind.
Wizard on a chair. We're halfway there.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Lemon on a pear.
Lemon on a pear. Wizards in despair.
Is exciting. So my plan for this weekend, I wanted 2 things. I wanted to catch one of the origin form Giratina, and I wanted to level up. And I needed like 80,000 experience or something like that.
Maybe, so this put you well over.
So that kicks me up, and so
you had a lucky egg.
Yep. So luckily I had a lucky egg on. Luckily I had a lucky egg on and a star piece from that previous raid. Also, we're in the middle of this Meltan event where you have 3-day Meltan boxes. So I opened a Meltan box, and that lasts until the 5th.
Get you shiny!
That'll be early next week.
I yelled it earlier, but you were busy talking about Pidgey Patrol.
Yeah, but I just wanted to mention it again. So there's an opportunity for that shiny Meltan, which, as far as I can tell, is a lie or maybe a myth.
Ooh. No, it exists.
I haven't seen it.
I think I might name my Meltan Stan. So then he can be Stan the Meltan. I think I'm going to do it. I have somebody off screen here laughing because why not? You know, if you're going to name them stuff like...
Or it could be Melstan.
Melstan. Ooh.
We're not going to make you sit through a half an hour of catching Meltans, even though we did like twice before. So there's just 1 or 2 catches here. I finally ended up with enough Meltan candy to evolve my second Melmetal. So I now have 2 of those cats. And yeah.
Currently sitting at 1,400 Meltan candies because I have no limit. And I've been trying to find a shiny Meltan, which I know was only in boxes for a very small window. So I was using pin apps on those because why not? And still no shiny Meltan for me yet, which is a bummer.
Yep, none here either. I don't have enough for a third yet, but I'm going to try to make better use of this 3-day box because I haven't been thus far. So
I have 2 more days on mine until I can transfer another and get more Meltan.
I'll have to check. I'm not sure how many I have.
Hey, Regirock, you got one too.
Woo!
I just got one of those today.
I got one more day.
One more day. One more day. Sorry. The inner show choir part of me just goes off without warning.
The inner show choir you becomes the outer show choir you.
The inner show choir me is just me. Let's be real.
So, I'm still trying to get Gleegars. I got 81 candies for this cat.
Oh man, so you still don't have a Gliscor?
Nope.
That's a bummer. Do you have the equivalent Sinnoh-stones?
No.
No.
I need one. I got one from a 7-day research, the first one, and I used it for something last week.
I got one from a box recently, but I have not used it yet. There's been nothing released recently that I don't have that requires a stone. So I have been hoarding mine, for sure.
Anything else going on?
Not immediately. We do have Torchic Community Day, but that's not until May 19th. So that's about it.
Have they announced the exclusive move yet? Or are we still speculating on that?
No, we're still waiting. As of now, we know there's going to be shiny Torchic. Of course, I almost said Meltan, but wishful thinking. Shiny Torchic and 3 times Stardust. That's what we know. So save up your star pieces so you can use them on Community Day.
So we will keep you updated for GoFest raffle information, and we'll
keep us posted if you have GoFest information, or if you're friends with us and you want to invite us because we can't get in ourselves.
Yes, we would be happy about that. But yeah, so we will see you next Monday. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us at Let's Play Games West Virginia. We've got something interesting going on every night of the week. You can see the ticker tape at the bottom. Tuesdays is Andy versus the World. Wednesday is Katie plays all the games, typically survival horror games. And so that's at 7 p.m. 9 p.m. on Thursday, we have World Crafters. Jason is actually hanging out. I don't know where the chat is for you.
That would be LPG Jason right there.
LPGWV Jason, who always hangs out in the chat with us, which we appreciate, has his show Thursday, where they are collaboratively building a campaign setting. Friday is Bartender's Choice. Oftentimes, Andy or Katie playing other games.
Or we'll do a group stream.
Or group streams.
We did do Mortal Kombat recently. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. Saturday Free For All, and Sundays Going in Blind with Snarf, in which Nier Automata is finished, and I don't remember what he's playing through now. Seiko?
Yes, that sounds familiar. I can't remember. I was gone this week, so I didn't get to tune in.
I was out of town as well. But anyway, Monday will be us again for PokéMondays. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin. This is Heather.
And this is Frank.
And that is Frank. And thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.